Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Minority Voice in Peace Building, Resolving Conflict, and Fostering Unity. I'm your host, Zehra, and this discussion is brought to you by South Asia Research Institute for Minorities, an organization committed to advocating and empowering minority communities across the South Asia region. Today's topic explores the crucial role of minority communities in peace building, focusing on their contribution to conflict resolution, social harmony, and policy advocacy for lasting the peace. We are honored to have a leading voice in peace and conflict studies, Mr. Irfan Engineer, Director of Institute of Peace Studies and Conflict Resolution. He is an author, social worker, and much more from Mumbai, India. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. Welcome to our podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you, Zehra, for having me in this podcast of SARIM. It's very important for me and for everyone. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. So, to begin, could you tell us about your journey as an author, director of the Peace Institute of Studies and Conflict Resolution, and how have your experience shaped your views and methods when it's come to peace building?
Yeah, actually, in India, as in all countries, minorities are discriminated against. The freedom of religion is constrained by laws, by non-state actors. So earlier, I was activist working amongst indigenous people in India, in state of Gujarat. When Babi Masjid was demolished, I thought we should give a lot of time to this activity of contributing towards peace building process. And I realized that people are pushed down, particularly people from minority community, resort to violence. Some a section of that resorts to violence because there is a lot of myths and prejudices that they have against minority. So what we are doing here is deconstructing identities. That's one. And also countering these prejudices and myths. History is used as a weapon to, to take revenge of the past, to, to undo uh, events of the past. And in fact, that goal is not to take revenge, but in the name of taking revenge of the past, uh, those who advocate those states, those ideas, actually want to influence the politics in present. They weaponize religion as well as history to promote violence, to promote polarization, to propagate hatred, and achieve their desired political goals. So deconstructing identities is our main task and promoting a better understanding within communities. Deconstructing these prejudices. These are the weapons, these are the methods that we use to build peace. I can't hear.
Oh, that's such an
Yeah.
inspiring response. So, the second question is about how important do you think minority voice are in peace building? What are the some challenges they face in being heard?
So, Gopal, let me tell you, Vera, that this concept of minority is something that is constructed. Before Britishers were ruling over South Asia, particularly India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and colonized, there was no concept of minority. There were different communities and communities living in peace and harmony. Uh, yes, there were conflicts also. There was not everything was not all that good, but there was no concept of majority and minority. There was no awareness about majority and minority. It is the colonial masters that introduced through various measures that they took. Uh, these, for example, uh, carrying out census in 1871 and enumerating communities, demarcating. Sudipto Kaviraj and many other historians have said that there were no demarcated Hindu and Muslim community in India. There were communities that practice both religion or aspects of both religion. They were syncretic. It was difficult to categorize them either as Hindus and Muslims. But when this enumeration campaign started, each one had to take sides, become either a Hindu or a Muslim. And that's where the Shuddhi movement uh, and the Tabligh movement also started because with elections, one needed to know you are a Hindu or a Muslim, or which community you belong to. And from that, the concept of minorities arose. I think we should deconstruct this concept of minorities. I would say that India, and including South Asia, is country of minorities. Uh, in India, there is no community which is a majority community. The majority community is constructed community. Otherwise, the Hindu community, for example, which is supposed to be majority community, is further subdivided into many cultures, communities, traditions, and customs. So much so that you can hardly categorize them as one community. There is no such brotherly, sisterly feeling of solidarity. There is a strict hierarchy. Likewise, amongst Muslim community, you find sub-denominations, not only sectarian sub-denomination, but the community is culturally very diverse. Many languages, they speak many languages, they follow various traditions and customs, food habits, literature, performing arts, etc., etc. Within Muslim community is also diverse. So majority and minority communities are a construct. Having said this, I would say in peace building process, every voice counts. There should be people from minorities, there should be people from majority. One community alone cannot. What peace will you talk about when there's only one community dominating and prevailing? The fact is that India, and, including Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, I see a lot of diversity in all these countries. A lot of religious diversity, cultural diversity, and linguistic diversity, and what have you. The People of India project, which is the Government of India project, enumerated the different communities, or tried to enumerate different communities. And you'll be surprised to know they have so far enumerated 4,635 communities. And they are not enumerated all. The process is on. So, whom do you call minority community? Which community you call minority? I would say not only minority voice, but within minority voice, every voice counts. All 4,635 communities, voices of all almost count. And yet again, not only these communities, but the voices of gender also count within this count. Because when we talk about minority, we forget that there are women in mind. Their voices are also important. So every class, every community, every voice, all genders, everything should be represented in peace building. Without that, there is no stable peace. And there's no just peace. The peace that we want to build has to be with justice. Peace with justice. Without justice, there is no peace. And justice for all. Justice for all communities. So, yes, minority voices are important, but we have to deconstruct both minority and majority communities. And all of us have multiple identities. You know, I, for example, my mother tongue is Gujarati. So I'm a Gujarati. I'm a domicile of Maharashtra. So I'm a Maharashtrian. I'm a male. I'm an advocate. So I have multiple identities within me. When I go out of India, my Gujarati, Maharashtrian, or no other identities of any consequence. Only identity that is of consequences that I'm Indian. My nationality becomes identity. So in different contexts, different identities affirm, and multipleness of our identities is one of the measures that we propagate as peace building value.
I totally agree with you, and it's clear that giving them a platform and addressing these challenges can make a big difference. So, the next question is about what are the some ways we can reduce prejudice and stereotypes that create a barrier between these communities?
What we do, well, some important measures, and what we do, we, uh, we are a small organization and we can't tackle everything. But one thing, or the direction in which we should be moving is create empathy for all communities in our heart so that we feel what in India Hindus believe in concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam. Entire world is my family. In Islam also we have concept of Ummah. Ummah means I understand that the entire human community, and all must be treated justly. So create empathy for people who are for all people. Create respect for all people. That's one. How to create that? Dard ka rishta, as we say. So feeling of pain. Our hearts should be united. This is something that Sufi saints and Bhakti saints did. Uh, their song, their composition, what they propagated was Kabir, for example, said. Uh, there's a debate whether he's a Bhakti saint or a Sufi saint, whether he's a Muslim or he's a Hindu. He was born in a Muslim, two Muslim parents, but brought up by a washer community, Hindu community. So he says that पोथी पढ़ पढ़ जब हुआ पंडित भयाना कोरे. By reading scriptures, you don't become wise unless you see uh, ढाई आखर प्रेम का पढ़े सो पंडित. Unless you see love in all scriptures. So that's the Rishta. And we have fantastic literature, saint literature. That's create empathy in us. The more we come in touch with this literature and with others, and the more we try to know others, the better. Now, education is a process that should help us. Our education should be doing school education, college education, research, our sociological research, the knowledge that we create, uh, research into the past, the composite culture, the syncretic traditions that we have, uh, the shared tradition that we have. The more we come into touch with each other, the more we interact with each other, the more we know each other, lesser the conflict. So that is one. But we are living in not good times. We have right wing, we have Trump being elected in America, we have right wing movements in Pakistan, we have Hindu nationalism in India and elsewhere as well. Minorities are being attacked in Bangladesh. So what do we do? In order to what we do as Center for Study of Society and Secularism, as well as Institute for Peace Studies and Conflict Resolution, one of the things that we do is diversity work. So we take people of all faiths together, Hindus, Muslims, men, women, upper caste, lower caste, say batches of 20 or 30. We take them and make them interact with different cultures, visit their places of worship, visit their cultural festivals, visit their ways of life, different institutions of their life, ask them questions. And we encourage these participants in this diversity forum to ask any difficult question that they might hold about the other community. So the more you clear your doubt, why you follow tradition in this way, which I think is not a good practice, whatever that may be. You ask those questions and they explain. Maybe you appreciate, maybe you don't appreciate. I will say that South Asia has a rich tradition of interaction of uh, Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, and other religions. For example, Dara Shikoh, we know Aurangzeb, but Aurangzeb's elder brother Dara Shikoh, he translated the Upanishads, 72 Upanishads into Persian language, so that Muslim world also know Hindu religion. And he reached the conclusion and wrote a book, Majma al-Bahrain, that these are two, Hinduism and Islam, are two oceans uh, which are expressed in different language, but their confluence is same. There are two rivers which confluence, with having a confluence. So, and he find that these both religions speak same thing in different languages. One is in Sanskrit, the other is in Arabic. So we need to know each other. He took great pains to translate 72 Upanishads into Persian language and wrote this book, Majma al-Bahrain, or Sirre Akbar, The Great Secret. And he, Darashiko argues that the secret scriptures that Quran talks about must be these Hindu scriptures. So these translations, dialogues, these kind of efforts help us come closer to each other, understand each other better. And one Sufi saying, for example, has said that both Hindus and Muslims, and he translated one Upanishad, I'm forgetting the name of that Upanishad, into Persian language. Emperor asked him to translate that in the Persian language. But translating the preface that he writes to that translation, he says that Hindus and Muslims both should journey on their own paths, try to transcend the limitations put by their religion. It is as if they are climbing a mountain. Transcending is like climbing a mountain. At the top of the mountain, you'll find that there's confluence or similar concepts. But we should journey, we should reach that truth, which is at the top of the mountain, like transcending our religions, our limitations put by our religion. But our religions are help us in the journey to reach that mountaintop. I think we have great literature that we have forgotten. We must revisit some of these fantastic efforts in the past to appeal to all communities. One more thing that we have in Mumbai, where our offices and our institution is located, we have started Inter-Religious Solidarity Council. We celebrate festivals together. We come together in dialogue and service to humanity. For example, once we had a dialogue about, and there were Hindus, Muslims, Jains, Buddhists, Baha'is, Ahmadis, all these followers of all these religions were there. And they were quoting from their own respective scriptures. What do they have about tolerance in the scriptures and freedom of religion or belief in the scriptures? And we all discovered that there are similar concepts all promote tolerance, search for knowledge, search for truth, acceptance of others, and there are a lot many verses in Quran also about freedom of religion. In this short interview, I will not be able to say. So our purpose of this, our main objective of Inter-Religious Solidarity Council, the Hindu, Muslims, and all are there, is to counter extremism in all religions. Any extremist action, to condemn hatred, and to propagate love for all, dialogue for all. I think these are some of the peace building measures that we must undertake.
Those are really practical ideas. Thank you so much. What you said are definitely the key towards breaking down the barriers. But linked with this answer, can you share an example or a project initiative you have been involved that brought different communities together and helping the resolve conflicts?
Actually, it is ongoing work for us. So
Okay.
we bring different communities in dialogue all throughout. Uh, we have 6 peace centers in different cities in India, and these what we call peace centers. There, people are volunteers, take initiative, bring people together in all not only religious events but also national events. We talk about say 26th January for India, celebrated as a Republic Day. So all our peace centers went to many doors, many neighbors, knocked their doors, and we ran a campaign called Har Ghar Samvidhan, Constitution in all homes. Because Constitution is not only for the government to obey; it's it's for us to follow and internalize. It's a democracy. Be proud of our Constitution and our democratic traditions. We have many, we have influences of feudal culture, both in and feudal culture is practiced by Muslims and Hindus and Jains and Sikhs and remnants of the past, hierarchies and all. Patriarchy, for example, caste system. uh, These feudal cultures are there, and they promote conflict. So we talk about democratic culture, I think, feudal culture, where everybody is equal, where we accept everyone. So we run these campaigns and we work throughout the year. Uh, this is month of January 2025. So all our peace centers are working out a plan. What we'll do in the year 2025. What kind of programs that we'll do for our. So mainly, in order to counter prejudices, deconstruct communities as as enemy communities or adversarial communities or even as others, because there is somewhat of other communities in me, and my community is in hearts and culture and practices of others. We are influenced each other. So we this is an ongoing project for us. I would say this is dialogue of life, where you come together and try to address some human problem or the other, of poverty, of needy people, of cleanliness, and we campaign on these issues together without any. For example, a few years ago, we all came together to promote organ donation. We realized now in India and the organ donation is picking up, and everybody, quite a few people are pledging their organs after their death to those who need, if the organs can be harvested. But say 5 6 years ago, there was not so awareness. There was and there was religious hesitation that religion does not promote uh, organ donation. So we came together. We talked about how our religion facilitates or encourages us to uh, sacrifice, if need be, our organs, particularly after our death.
That's wonderful. It's great to hear how people bring together by these initiatives. Thank you for sharing those suggestions. I am clear that working together at every level is important to make the world a peaceful place. This has been a very insightful discussion. Thank you so much, Mr. Engineer, for sharing the experience and knowledge with us. Your work truly inspire and give us a hope for a more united future. To everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for more conversation with Sarim. Let's keep working towards peace and understanding together. Until next time, take care and goodbye.